Yeah, hello. Finally, I found some time to explain the live setup that I'm using lately. So let's start with a quick topology here. I have the Octatrack as the main mixer. Everything runs into the Octatrack, and then the Octatrack goes to the OTO BOUM, which gives some compression and saturation, and basically that's the mastering pipeline. Now I plug the Analog Rytm, actually the stereo pair, into the Octatrack. It goes to track 1, and I actually have track 2 being a looper channel, so whenever I want to fade out to another preset from the rhythm, I'm using channel 2 as a looper. Now I have other 2 inputs in the Octatrack. One comes from the Analog 4 and the other comes from the DFAM. And the Analog 4 has another 2 inputs that can have additional effects, and they can use it as mono. And into one of them I send the Volca Keys, and I'm probably going to plug subsequent 37 for fancy bass. Now how I build the tracks with these. So I'm basically always using the DFAM as my kick. It is not starting, 1 second. So that's my kick drum. Every time I can play around, and just to give a beefier sound to it, it goes through the mini fogger Moog drive that can give very strong overdrive sound to it if I want to have that. And since I'm driving the DFAM in a very low volume, by default it doesn't really saturate it, so it still sounds as a nice shaped kick. Then I have my percussions, hi-hats, crazy sounds coming from the DFAM. I'm going to reduce this so you can hear me. And from the Octatrack I have an additional support track, track 8, which always contains a hi-hat roll. So regardless which pattern I'm on, I have an additional hi-hat top that I can use, and then I can freely transfer the pattern in the rhythm without actually needing the rhythm to provide basic percussions. Now the other thing that the Octatrack has and add to the sound is basically the midi channel 4, which triggers the Volca Keys, and with that I have like 11 different patterns that I can use for some basic melody-like stuff. Now the trick is that I used to have different tracks, and I was building up tracks one by one, which I don't do anymore. I put their layers, and to make sure that everything is key, I'm using A sharp minor for everything. So everything tuned to that, it's forced in scale, regardless if I know which sounds I'm supposed to play. So this way everything stays melodic, and everything has harmony in it. Now the Volca Keys goes through the Strymon Nightsky and that way it has a dual functionality. If I turn the dry knob, I hear the Volca Keys, but if I turn on the reverb part only, I can use it to create a pad or a texture under the track. And it already gives a great environment to the sound. Now on the Analog 4, in each preset actually I created 4 different sounds, and they are not necessarily go together, but I can use them, and I made meaningful titles so I can remember which preset that is. So if I turn on, I usually have my performance preset in the way that the lower row is basically filter and or a volume control for the specific sound. So I can bring in the given sound, and the upper row is basically some accent to the specific sound, or some effect or some modulation that I programmed earlier to the preset. Yeah, so basically that's it. So how I go through is that by the time I modify, I build the kick drum to morph and change according to the part of the set. So I can make it more rolling, or I can just keep it as a 404 4 on the floor. Make it more boomy, and then I can go through the presets depending on what I want to do, some more energy. Oh, and Octatrack Pro is going to hate me for this, but the only thing I'm using this fader for is to have low cut on the drum and on the percussions, keeping the lows in the synth, so I can still have a beef bass going on, but cut the kick. It's, yeah, I know we can do a lot of other things. I simply don't use it. I'm not very fond of the effects, and I'm not doing so much sampling here, so it might be a waste, but Octatrack was the most comfortable mixer looper for me I could find, and it also has MIDI support, so I could yeah, drive my synths that don't have internal sequencer. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm probably going to change it soon, but this weekend I'm going to use this to my next gig. Thank you.